Caitlin, you don't get out of this, come on. I'm going to give you a little update on my health before we get started here. I look good, and I'll wait for the amens to stop. No, honestly, I look better than I feel. And there was no way I could have got through this week without y'all praying for me. I'm still fighting the headaches. I'm still fighting the dizziness. So I want to say thank you for that. If you would have told me, come on, don't be scared. If you would have told me 8 months ago when I took this position at the church that we would have had a week like we just had, I wouldn't believe you. I'm so proud of this group. They've come so far. I'm going to let them share what they experienced at camp. And the first day we were there, we have opening ceremonies, and the lights are flashing, the music's blaring, and one of I'm not going to say his name, I don't want to embarrass him. But it was his first time to go to camp, okay, youth camp. And he's sitting by me, and he looks over at me and goes, I thought we were going to church camp. So after that, he's like, okay, this is pretty cool. So I'm going to let them share, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, Skylar. Well, when we went to camp, like, the first day we come in, talking like the music's pretty loud. Well, first 2 or 3 days, I'm sitting there the whole time like, I don't want to sing all this stuff. No. Well, they started playing a few songs that I know. I started humming along, like, And so then I started singing, and I'm sitting by Clive, started singing real loud, and he looks over and he goes, And so the music was pretty good. I really liked it, so that's cool.
Hi, I'm Christian. As she said, yeah, the music was great. Opening ceremonies, of course, but the night times we had church, of course. Lost the words here. The worship was amazing. Just as you see the video, hundreds upon hundreds of kids and adults all raising their hands, praising God, all in one room, was just amazing to see that. And that's all I gotta say.
I'm not gonna give a speech. My favorite part probably about church camp was just the atmosphere was so upbeat and amazing. It's just made me want to raise my hand every single minute that I was there. So that's all.
I'm Erin. I actually wrote something to say, so. Okay. Going to camp, I didn't have a lot of great expectations. I wasn't saved, I was hardly religious, and I think I was really just looking for a good time. Everything really took off the third day, for me at least. In my Bible study group, our leader gave us note cards and told us to write down one of our heavy sins parting us from God. And after that, she told us to hold on to that note card, and when we were ready, rip it up at the altar. I knew on the third day I wasn't ready to tear up that note card, so I held off. And yet, something wonderful still happened. When I walked up to the altar that night at worship, I could hear God speaking to me. And I knew after all that time, running from him was over. And honestly, I didn't even know I was running, because I was running so long. So after our church group time, I asked Miss Donna to lead me, and hand in hand with my cousin Caitlin, I was finally saved. And I can't explain the weight that was taken off my shoulders immediately after that. So finally, the last full day of camp. We were at worship, and at first I didn't fully decide if I was ready to tear up my note card. But when I went up to the altar, and I was surrounded by the family that I love, the next minute, that note card was a pile of shredded paper on the floor. Because I finally realized that I am not my sins, and that's not how the Lord sees me, so that's not how I should see myself. And I most importantly realized that he made me the way I am for a reason. And besides bringing God out with me of church camp, I brought that realization. Because of this camp experience, I grew a lot closer with God, and I gained a new family. And it was the best experience I've ever had, and one that I'll never forget.
Okay, hi. My name is Caitlin. For those of you who don't know me, This week was a roller coaster of emotions. Let me just say that, first of all. Whenever I first arrived, I wasn't very happy about how everything was set up, and I did not think I was going to have a good time, honestly. And then later that night, something horrible happened to me. I'd rather not talk about it, but it just ruined my week, or so I thought. And as the week progressed, I started to let go of all that anger and sadness I had from the first night at camp. And this week was kind of about relationships, and I realized that everything happens for a reason, you know? And I got closer with all these wonderful people, and with God, and with complete strangers, to be honest. And I learned that whenever you look for answers, you may not find exactly what you're looking for, but you will find something wonderful. And this week at camp, everybody's talking about how great the worship is, and it was wonderful. And one night we had this sermon on how God gave us each a gift, and we need to use it. And it made me really think. And I saw the people on the stage, I saw them leading us to God, and I realized how I felt when I was worshiping, and I started to think. And I was like, I want to do this. I want to lead people to God. And you know, most of you in this room, you know that I already sing for God, but I feel like I haven't been 100% in it. And that night at camp, I felt like God called me to the ministry. And so that night I surrendered, and now I know what I'm going to do for God. Yeah. So I just learned a lot at camp, and I wanted to share that with the congregation, that I surrendered to the ministry, and my life is completely changed. I feel like a new person.
Hi there, I'm Peyton. I don't do well with talking, so I'm just going to make it short and sweet and to the point. At church camp, it was really fun. It was a lot different than the ones we had previously gone to, so I certainly had fun there. I did get closer to my church family, and I felt like I got closer to God also. The preaching there was very amazing. I liked it, and it was great. Like the others said, the worship was amazing. It was like no other, and I liked it. I want to go next year, so.
Hi, my name is Riley, and one thing I learned from church camp is you don't have to be blood to be family.
Hey guys. Wow, that's loud. Most of you already know me. My name is Sonny. I used to get up and sing on the stage and play guitar, but for a while there, I didn't really know where I was with my relationship with God. My heart had grown covered in stones, and my week at church camp, I was learning things. I was trying to learn how to be a big brother, because I never really was there for my sisters that much when I was younger. And I had learned, like Raleigh said, you don't have to be blood to be family. So when we were at the altar, we were speaking to each other, and we were making sure that we all knew that. And I had learned that most of us go through sins in our life, and we think that we can't get through it. But the truth is, we really don't want to get through it sometimes. And most of us wouldn't admit that, but that's the hard truth about it. And I rededicated myself, and I found myself in God. And I'm back where I need to be, with not just my friends in my youth group, but with my family. All these guys are my family. And I want to thank you guys for letting me speak up here today on stage.
My name is Sajin, and at the week at church camp, I got to get to know all of y'all and grow a relationship with y'all. And I also got the chance to witness to others and help impact their lives. Not only did that happen, all of them helped change my life. I love all of you guys, and I'm always going to be here for y'all.
Hi, my name is Klein, and through the days that I was at church camp, I realized what I was doing wrong in my life and how I can make it better through the preaching and the worship to get closer with God and help witness to my other friends that don't know Christ and help bring them to Him.
Hi, my name is Dalton, and while I was at church camp, I realized that I really enjoy being around my youth members and my leaders.
I don't know how you sum up a whole week of watching God work in just a few little sentences, but that's what we saw this week. It was hot. It was muddy because they had water. They seemed to. We didn't take enough clothes for all the water, but we got to see God work in these lives and in our lives. The adults had separate Bible studies from the kids, and one of the things that I remember him saying was, it's emotion versus devotion. We're at camp and we're all excited, and it is emotion. You're emotional, but what are we going to do with that? Emotion dies down, but devotion will continue, and that's where we are now. We've had the emotion, and it was awesome, but now we've talked about how are we going to keep this relationship with God and each other going, and that's where the devotion comes in. So I ask that you still pray, but just pray now for it to continue, and we can reach out and pull others in so that they can experience this love that they found. And I have to tell you, my favorite time was we would have church group time, and we would go off in this little room, and we would sit in a circle, and it was just amazing to hear them open up and just talk about things in their life or what they had learned that day. It was really good, really good. So thanks for letting us go.
My name is Caitlin Bowles. For those that don't know me, I was asked to go at the last minute as a leader. It has been truly great watching y'all's kids grow together as a group, because I wouldn't say that going in that they were, but sure enough, when they left, they were definitely a group and a family, as they had said before. It has been a really good, true blessing as watching them grow together. And as Caitlin had said earlier, the preacher Vincent Smith brought it every night that he spoke. You knew he was going to preach no matter what he said, no matter when he talked. Thursday night was a great movement throughout the whole entire church, which per se of the congregation. And also, I too, on Thursday night, surrendered to the ministry. God has given me a gift to play softball, and that's what I want to use to share that with others. And so it has been a true blessing, and I want to thank y'all for letting me go, and I want to thank your parents too for having some wonderful kids.
We started the first night, and Vince, our pastor, he talked about expectations for the week. And I told him in our small group, I said, I really don't have any expectations. I've never been to camp with them, so I didn't have anything. But that Friday or Saturday before we left, God gave me the number 3. And I told him, he said, he gave me the number 3. I said, I have no idea what that means. And by the end of the week, he showed that. And there was 2 surrendering the ministry and 1 coming to know Christ. And just because he can, he threw in some rededications. So we need to get a hand to the Lord. So I ask you to please continue to pray for them. We talked about how spiritual warfare is about to attack. And it's not easy, and it's already started. So we're going to pray, and then we'll get on with the worship service. Lord, I thank you for this opportunity to serve as a youth pastor and see you work through lives of these young people and see the difference that they can make in everybody, Lord. Lord, just ask that we were able to stick together with the family and work through things together and just to keep chasing after you. Lord, I thank you for this church, and I thank you for their support in getting us to camp. And Lord, I just ask that you be with this morning's worship service and just be with Brother Steve as he brings your message. In Jesus' name, I pray, amen.